of a living entity's fruitive actions. It is forced to enter the material elements in different types of bodies. This time, yesterday, Jehovah people came to my house and we had a long discussion, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, about this point. We are talking about Adam and Eve and so many things. So, according to the results of a living entity's fruitive actions, is forced to enter the material elements in different types of bodies. This time, the living entity was supposed to have been the son of Maharaj Chitraketu and Queen Kritadyuti, because according to the laws of nature, he had entered a body made by the king and queen. Actually, they did not. I mean, generally, the body develops in the mother's womb. Does she actually engineer the body of the child? She doesn't know. Automatically, things are happening in her belly and how the child is developing. She has no control over it. Right? So, they are not really making the body in one sense. It is just happening automatically by Krishna's intelligence, how different limbs of the body and all that is described in the Bhagavatam. Without our knowledge how it is happening, we don't know. That's why sometimes the child has deformities. And sometimes the doctors say, yeah, you should not have the child. This child has some problems. So she doesn't have any control over what's going on inside and how the child is developing. Although we say it's made by the king and queen, if you say made, yes, maybe like that. But if you make something, then you make it the way you want. But you cannot even know. Like sometimes in India, they want to have a male child, right? So they keep what you can say, producing children. And it's not that every time they produce, the wife becomes pregnant, they can decide which gender it should be. Maybe now with all this IVF and all these things, they can probably determine some ways, but but how the child will turn out, right, and what will happen in the life of the child, and so many things we cannot say. Actually, however, he was not their son. So sometimes children have so many issues also. Actually, however, he was not their son. The living entity is the son of the Supreme Personality of God. And because he wants to enjoy this material world, the Supreme Lord gives him a chance to enter various bodies. So everything is going automatically, like by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. We have very little say in that. We cannot really. In our life also, how karma is fructifying, when diseases will happen in our life, what will happen, all these things. Incidents happen in our life. We are under the modes of material nature. So things are happening. We are like, what you can say, puppets. The living entity has no true relationship with the material body. He gets from his material father and mother. He is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, but he is allowed to go through different bodies. The body created by the so-called father and mother actually has nothing to do with its so-called creators. Therefore, the living entity, the body created by the so-called father and mother actually has nothing to do with its so-called creators. So the body has no relationship with the creators, the so-called mother and father, who didn't really, that's why it's called so-called. Therefore, the living entity flatly denied that Maharaj Chitraketu and his wife were his father and mother. Okay, so that's what it is. So, what is this verse inspiring you? Maybe some detachment that I am alone. I am traveling as a soul alone. And I go in various families, different species of life, just traveling. And so, if I am traveling like that, others are also like that. Because others are also souls and they are also traveling in this material world. So everything is going to pass. And everything is going to pass as Krishna says, as the embodied soul passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age. The soul similarly passes into another body at the time of death. So everything is going to pass. No relationships, nothing is going to last. We are all in a, what they say, flux, state of flux, constant changing like that. So, in this situation, we are supposed to become all Krishna conscious. That's the main thing.
Actually, I mean, we are not alone, but Krishna is our constant companion. He is our mother and father. Prabhupada says, right? Living entity is the son of the Supreme Personality, Godhead. Pitamasya Jagata Mata Data Pitamaha. Krishna is our mother and father. So we have to realize the presence of Krishna.
Yeah, with the soul, Paramatma is moving also. He is accompanying the soul. So he is a constant companion. Nobody else, not my husband, not my wife, nobody else is a constant companion in this world. But of course, we don't realize that I am there and the Lord is in my heart. So one who realizes that is the greatest yogi. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana shraddhavan vijayate yoma. So Lord is with us in the heart. And He will be there with us forever. But that's what the yogi do. Right? They do Ashtanga Yoga. And they bring their senses inwards. And then they see the Lord in the heart. It's in Samadhi, they see. So why we are not able to perceive the Lord's presence in the heart? It's because our senses are not focused on the Lord. And that way we can say, because our senses are going outwards. And so the yogi tries to bring all his senses, control all his senses, and meditate on the Lord. Feel the presence of the Lord in the heart, and then he sees the Lord in the heart. That's how. But we know from Bhagavad Gita, He's there. So we accept. 2 verses that Krishna says, I am in the heart. These are the 2 verses, famous verses.
Tasya chanam hridhi sanivishtam tasya jnanam gaunam cha videsha sarveram eva vedya vedanta krit veda vidivacham. Ishwar sarva bhutanam hridesha arjuna tisthati. Brahman said bhutani yantarani maya.
And that's why they say, like, He's our friend because He's our constant companion who will always be there, who has always been with us, who will always be there in the future with us. But that's analogies there in Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Somebody wants to describe the analogy of the 2 friends that are sitting on a tree. And what is that?
2 birds.
2 birds.
Then
Upadrishta Hanumanta. Yeah, go ahead, Preeti.
Yeah, the 2 birds, like super soul and soul, is sitting on the same branch, and the soul is like Jiva. Like you already says that Upadrishta or Mantak. So super soul act as that, and the soul is enjoying the fruits and busy in enjoying the fruits, and the super soul is just watching the soul to enjoy the Jiva as Upadrishta. Yeah.
anything else on that? So there are 2 birds sitting on a tree. The tree is the body. 2 birds are the soul and the super soul. And there are many fruits on this tree. So the soul is enjoying the fruits. You know, fruits sometimes they are
Enjoying or suffering?
sometimes fruits are
sour.
sour. Yeah, sometimes grapes are not so sweet. Sometimes they are sweet. So, karma. Our karma is sometimes good, sometimes not good. So we are enjoying or suffering, and we are very engrossed. The soul is very engrossed in enjoyment and trying to avoid suffering. When suffering comes, it's trying to avoid it. Like, yeah, when we get disease, then we are trying to find out what is the treatment and how I can get better, what I should do. So, trying to avoid suffering and maximize happiness. That is everybody's desire, right? So, he's very engrossed in this aspect. And the other bird is the Supreme Lord Krishna, Super Soul. His friend, but this bird is not looking at the friend. The soul is not looking at Krishna because he is too absorbed in something else. So Krishna is waiting. He's thinking, oh, when will my friend look at me again? When will we again have a nice, loving relationship? So he's waiting. But he's at the same time, because he's there, he's seeing what the other bird is doing. So he's witnessing. He's witnessing. Okay, what is now doing this, is now doing that. Paramatma is upadrishta. He's witnessing. The Lord is witnessing all our activities and our thoughts and everything. He knows. And he also, what is the other word? Anumanta. He's sanctioning. Permitter. Sanctioning our desires. He's helping us fulfill our desires. He doesn't like that some desires we have, he doesn't want to fulfill, but we are very stubborn. No, I want it. I just, it's okay, go ahead. Like Prabhupada has a son. He says, I want to put my hand in the fan. Prabhupada said, no, don't put it, you will get hurt. No, I want to put. Okay, put. After it was slowed down, put. So we are like that stubborn soul. So we are not. So when we actually understand, oh, my friend is there with me, and I'm not supposed to be engrossed in this external, this thing, enjoying the fruits. I can have a very loving relationship with my friend, and I can derive some happiness, and I will feel very satisfied. So that is like going inwards, right? We say the happiness is within. Like the example of musk tree, right? The fragrance is coming from within, but he's thinking, where is the fragrance? So happiness is within. But then I have to find outside who is going to give me happiness? What can I get? Where will I get happiness? Where will I get happiness? But it is within. Krishna. Remembering Krishna. And chanting Hare Krishna. Meditating on Krishna, like that, serving Krishna. So that we have forgotten. And so in this material world, like, a child is distracted. Child may be studying, but then you show him some toffee. Child is, oh, I want nothing. So they are all distracted children of God. So in this material world, oh, this will give me enjoyment, that will give me enjoyment. Now this didn't work out, now that will give me enjoyment. So in that pursuit, we go on, and then we die also. Then we go to our next body. So as long as we say, no, I'm not going to look at this thing externally for enjoyment, I'm going to look at the Lord. That's when we turn our face to the Lord. Now we are turned away from the Lord, towards the material nature, towards this illusion. It's not illusion, but we are perceiving it like that, so it's illusion. We have turned away our face. We have become vimukh. Vimukh means to turn away. Like that word is coming in the Prahlad's prayers. Devo dvije paradhuvataya vaitaranyas tavad kayan mahamritamagna chitta soche tatro vimukha chetasa indriyartha maya sukhaya bharam udvahato vimudan. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, I am not disturbed by this material existence because I am singing. Yesterday we were discussing Govardhan Leela. All the lessons learned from Govardhan Leela. And many of the devotees, I think Mataji, Rajesh Prabhu's wife, I don't remember her name. She was saying that Govardhan was feeling ecstasy. He was not getting affected because he was in touch with Krishna's. We have also discussed this lesson. He was in touch with Krishna. So Prahlad Maharaj says, even though I'm in material existence, I don't feel any problem. I'm not disturbed because I have taken your shelter. But I have problem also. I'm feeling sad for all the other people. Soche tato vimukha chetasa. Those whose consciousness have turned away from you, Krishna. Why they have turned away from you? Because for the purpose of Indriya Artha, for the purpose of sense gratification, they have turned away from you. Because they think in sense gratification they will get more happiness. Indriya Artha. Maya Sukha. Maya Sukha. So the illusory happiness. And they have taken a big load. They are struggling so much. Maya Sukha Bharam. Udvahato Vimura. Vimura means very special type of foolishness. V means Vishesha Rupena Mura. Like that. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling all about us that of course you are all devotees, so you are different, but generally speaking, that how people have turned away from Krishna for the purpose of this illusory happiness. They want to make a nice situation and they're working so hard for this. We have to work. It's not like we don't have to work or anything. Don't be lazy or anything. The lion also has to work, but only work to maintain so that whatever you are going to get from your past, according to your past karma you are going to get. So Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudan. So I'm concerned, I'm lamenting for all this. Because they are in the cycle of birth and death. They cannot see the whole bigger picture. They are so absorbed in this temporal reality that they think this is all in all. This life is all in all. This body is all in all. Then the bodily conception of life. This is the first Maya. We are thinking I am this body. That's from where the Maya begins everything. So everybody is in that bodily conception of life. And I want to preach. I want to preach to them. I want to give them this knowledge. And I want to save them from all the suffering. Right, so if you get Krishna, then you are satisfied that there is no more hankering. And there is all this material desires, all will become subdued, pacified. Bhava Mahadava Nirvapanam, the blazing fire of all this lust, anger, greed, all this, they will become subdued. And you will experience happiness. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, there are two separate entities. According to results of a living entity's fruitive action, it is forced to enter particular elements in different types of body. I think we read this. Okay. So the next verse. Any other comments on this verse? So Chitraketu Maharaj is hearing, now his son is saying, his son is not able to recognize that their mother and father. Right? Sometimes you have Alzheimer, right? You love somebody very much, but when they get Alzheimer's, or you get Alzheimer's, you are not able to say, oh, this is my husband, this is my wife, who is this all? People, who are all these people? So like that, complete loss of memory happens when you leave the body. So, because we change our body, Prabhupada says, that's why we forget. Like as a 2-year-old, do you remember what you were doing as a 2-year-old? As a 1-year-old, you remember, but you were there. You don't remember as a 1-year-old what you were doing. Because our body is changing. But Krishna's body doesn't change, so he remembers everything. He comes in his spiritual form. Material bodies change, and with change of body you forget. Even many things in this life you forget. It's a blessing in disguise. But Krishna does not forget. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacha arjuna. Tani ham veda sarvani nam tum vedam paratapa. na tvam veta parantapa. I remember everything, Krishna is saying. Because I don't change. Sambhavami atma maya. Ajopi sanavi atma bhutanam ishwarati san. Prakritim swamadhisthaya sambhavami atma maya. Because it's spiritual form. He comes, he does not change his body. Of course, the shape, like you can say, he comes as Matsya, he comes as Kurma, it is different. But he doesn't have any. As soon as your material body means, you will forget. So in the spiritual things, we don't forget. Spiritual body. So we have to stop this. Keep changing bodies. Like we are moving, right? We don't like to move. We like to settle in life. So constantly moving from one place to another. So that is what happened now. He is refusing to, he is not refusing, he doesn't remember, okay, which life this were mine. Because we have been millions of lifetimes in this world. We have had millions of mothers and fathers, or even trillions, like that, we don't know how, since time immemorial. So, and we have forgotten all of them. And now Chitraketu Maharaj will also not feel anything. Right? Because if somebody doesn't remember, right, like you were their friend or something, then your affection also decreases. Right? You can't share anything with them, right? Otherwise you say, oh, remember that time in school we did this, but they don't even remember that you were their friend. Completely, they have forgotten everything, your interaction with them. So. Like we like to go in the past, right? We like to go in the past and say, oh, this was the time when we did that. Krishna and Sudama, when they met. And we say, oh, remember that time, that day in Gurukul, we went to the forest, it was a stormy night, and we got stuck. Reminiscing the past. Like, there is reunions in schools, right? Many schools, they will do reunion of certain batch and all those people will come together. But if none of them remember, then there is no connection. So here, the son has forgotten everything. So, okay. Or you could say, yeah, to teach a lesson, he's speaking like that, either way. But, so next verse. Bandhu Jnati Ari Madhyastha Mitrodasina Vidvishaha Sarvaeva hi Sarvesham Bhavanti Karmashomitaha. So what does this mean? That we are in like some family and we have some relatives. Right? So everybody in the family should know it's temporary. It's a temporary situation. And we are all spirit souls. We are all supposed to go become Krishna conscious and get out of the cycle of birth and death. So we are all in the family, we should help each other. So that is the real family. We can all help each other. We are all in the cycle of birth and death. And we are all going to depart very soon from each other. Because in terms of eternity, this 50-60 year lifespan is just like a little blip. It's just a flash. As Dravida Prabhu says, it's one page in a big book with trillions of pages. This life is just a page. So it's just one page. There are trillions of pages in this book because there are so many lines. There's only one page. So don't take this too seriously. And this is going to pass. Don't take this too seriously. Don't be too much overwhelmed by material situations and things like that. Help everybody, whoever is in your family, realize this bigger picture of life and relationship with Krishna and help them go back to God. Since you all are devotees, you can in your family, you can help them. Otherwise, in this false, illusion, we will forget in the bodily conception of life, we will forget actually who we are. Because none of us are related permanently on the bodily platform. And that's what this verse is saying. So we have to help each other because we are in family, we take care of each other's bodily needs and everything, but at the same time, not to forget the bigger picture. So that's the real family. Okay. So read the verse. Okay. In this material world, which advances like a river, all these verses are like this. That carries away the living entity. All people become friends, relatives, and enemies in due course of time. So in one life also, one friend can become your enemy. Or in this life, you are a friend to somebody, but in last life, they may have been an enemy. They also act neutrally. They mediate. They despise one another, and they act in many other relationships. Nonetheless, despite these various transactions, no one is permanently related. Because it has to stand the test of time. Then you can say, but because it comes and goes, so it's not. Purport. It is a practical experience in this material world. That the same person who is one's friend today becomes one's enemy tomorrow. And it is very much evident with politicians, right? Sometimes they are in the same party and then they are working. And then they join the other party, the opposite party, and then now they are criticizing. And also in our life also. Our husband and wife, and then they're involved in fight for divorce, then they become bitter enemies. Everybody wants to get the maximum. There's fighting going on, or brothers, right? Brothers, sisters, like that. When there is a property dispute, they played together as a child, right? It is in the same family. But when there's some money thing comes and maybe the father is not divided equally or something like that. And there's litigations and court and they don't want to see each other. This is like that. Even it happens with many sons and daughters are estranged from their parents because they can't get along. So Bhagavatam is laying out it all bare. This is the truth of life. So you may say it's a pessimistic picture because every time it doesn't happen like this. Yeah, there may be happy situation in families, but the very fact that all this can happen, and it may have happened in our past life also. So don't take this too seriously. All these things, like this Keshav Maharaj before he was Sutta Prabhu, and he was living in this. He was Bhaktivedanta Manor, and the president of Bhaktivedanta Manor was Shruti Dharma, and he told him, "Don't take this dream too seriously. Don't take this dream too seriously. It's a dream. This identification with this whole." I belong to this nation, I belong to this family, and it's all like a dream. This will get over. Don't take it too seriously. It means take your spiritual life seriously. Don't take this dream too seriously. And help all others. Our relationships as friends or enemies, family men or outsiders are actually the results of our different dealings. So live in the truth, don't live in falsity. Don't live in illusion, live in truth. Moment to moment, one should live in truth. Our relationships as friends or enemies, family men or outsiders are actually the results of our different dealings. Chitraketu Maharaj was lamenting for his son, who was now dead, but he would have considered the situation otherwise. This living entity. So he would have thought differently. Right? How he would have thought differently like this. This living entity, he would have thought, was my enemy in my last life. And now, having appeared as my son, he is prematurely living just to give me pain and agony. Why should he not consider his dead son, his former enemy? And instead of lamenting, be jubilant because of an enemy's death. different way of looking. Yes. As stated in, so yeah, while I gave pain to somebody, now that other person who I gave pain to or somebody else, because karma we don't know who is I gave, now this person is giving me pain by living. So karma is coming back to me. Why should he not consider his dead son his father enemy? Instead of lamenting, he is jubilant because of an enemy's death. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3:27, Prakriti Kriyamanani, Karmani Sarvashaha. Actually, everything is happening because of our association with the modes of material nature. Therefore, one who is my friend today, in association with mode of goodness, may be my enemy tomorrow in the association with modes of passion and ignorance. As the modes of material nature work, in illusion we accept others as friends, enemies, sons, or fathers in terms of reactions of different dealings under different conditions. Yeah, if he is fulfilling my interest or if he is conducive to my interest, I consider him as my friend. If he is detrimental to my interest, then I consider him as an enemy. If he is giving me some profit, and if he is helping me enjoy in this material world, then he's my friend. If he's acting as an obstacle in my enjoyment in the material world, then he's my enemy. Mostly it's like that, right? So everybody wants to dominate and enjoy. So there is competition. Okay. But Prabhupada is saying, yeah, he's giving me pain, but maybe he's the instrument of my karma from the past life. Because I gave pain to him. Now this living entity has come to him. Because nothing happens. Yesterday I was discussing with this Japa witness. They were saying, so I was saying, why some people have this kind of destiny and another person has different kind of destiny. And they say it's just time, place and circumstances. They were saying, because he was in that place at that time, so it just, I said, is it just by chance that it all happened by chance? That somebody is in that place at that time. Like, what is that story about the Yamaraj and this bird, right? What is the story? Yamaraj and looking at the bird. And
Yeah.
what is the story?
So Garuda. Garuda was coming to meet Lord Vishnu, and he saw that there was a little bird, and Yamraj was looking at that little bird. So Garuda said that, oh, this is my little sister, and Yamraj is looking, I want to save her. This means that she must be, going to die. So let me save her and put her very far away, take her very far away, so that Yamraj is not able to kill her. So, but Yamraj was looking at that little bird and thinking, oh, I see that this bird is going to die in few moments, but she's going to die very far away. Then he was looking at that bird thinking, how is that even possible? And then, Garuda took that bird, and Garuda flies very fast. He took that bird very far away, put it on a tree, and there came a cobra and swallowed her.
Yeah, Yamaraj was thinking, he was perplexed. Oh, this bird is going to die thousands of miles away. But and it's only a few moments. The bird obviously cannot fly there and reach that place. But Yamaraj knows this person is going to die in this way. So, how is it going to? So, he was staring at the bird because he was perplexed. Garuda was thinking, Yamaraj is looking at the bird. Oh, maybe he's going to now take the soul of the bird, send his Yamadutas to take. Let me save my bird. Let me save my sister. But he took her far away, and that's where she was supposed to die. And there was a snake there, and the snake swallowed the bird. So it is not like that. It's just all happened by chance and things like that. when you don't understand, it's all by chance. I was telling them, it's not like this doesn't sound logical. Everything is happening by chance, and God has no control over anything. It's just by chance. So this basic thing also they can't understand. So they came to preach to me, but they got preached. So anyway, they didn't expect that. Because most people don't know. They thought, and there was an Indian lady, a Punjabi lady, who had probably converted to Christianity or Jehovah's something. She was coming with this. So, so I asked her, "You don't believe in? You were born like Christian before?" She said, "No, so we believe in Guru Granth Sahib." Then I said, "Okay, Guru Granth Sahib. Then how did you take up this thing?" And then she didn't say. So I said, "I found the truth." I said, "But the truth doesn't explain everything. What you are saying." So, like that, they come, convert. I So I was saying that every religion talks about God, but in Vedic scriptures there is so much information about God. Who is God, which you don't find in your. If I ask you who is God, what is going on in the abode of the Lord, what are his activities, you cannot tell. So anyway, so there was a long conversation I had with them. But of course, everybody sat in their ways. So they also realized I am a gone case and I cannot convert it. And so there was no point in discussing more. So it is our practical experience in this material world that the same person who was once friends today becomes this. Okay, we read this. Yeah, this verse we read. So we are 750. Can you read some more verses? Yatha vastuni panyani हेमादिनी ततस्ततः पर्यतन्ति नरेश्व एवं जीवो योनिषु कार्तृषु. That is why we are supposed that in the human form of life, which we got after so many births and deaths, we are supposed to keep this as forefront. Is how to become near to Krishna, how to advance in spiritual life. That is considered the foremost goal of human life. And everything else you do should support this. So, your job, your family, everything. But right now what happens? Other things are in the forefront. Those are the main our objectives. But this is not the main objective. It's topsy-turvy. The goal is not what should be the goal is not the real goal. Something else is the goal. So, and
Yeah, I just had a comment in the previous verse.
go ahead.
So, I mean, our close relatives are the ones that give us the most trouble. Prabhupada is saying that Chitraketu Maharaj could have considered that this child is giving me so much pain. He must be an enemy from my previous life. It is true that, if you want to give pain to the others, you come as a close relative in the next life. All it is because that you were not able to forgive the person. See, the karma continues as long as we maintain a grudge against the other person. You have to take another birth, to give back somebody's karma to them. So that's why, we should forgive and forget. Like, we should forgive people, not that we maintain a grudge and, we have to come back as a person to give pain to another person. This is what is continuing our, that's why we have karma towards each other.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
seminar, Art of Forgiveness. How to forgive. I think Mahatma Prabhu is going to teach that very soon. So, forgiving. But if you're already forgiving, then you don't need to take the seminar. But sometimes it's very hard to forgive. Because so then we have to say, like, okay, there is also don't be upset at the instrument of your karma. That will also help you forgive. I must have done something in my past life to somebody or some person. So this I'm getting back what I'm due. So this person is not really the cause of my suffering, but he's just acting as an instrument. And we say like the postman comes with somewhat or
Letter.
letter and says you are to appear in the court, right?
You owe a debt of $1 million or something like that. So you don't become angry at the postman and run after him trying to kill him. It's not his fault that you took the loan and now you have to repay. He's giving you the letter, right? Or the people are giving us our karma that is due to us. They are an instrument of our karma.
So that's one way you can forgive. Yeah. Other way you can forgive is you can think that Krishna is forgiving us so many times. So if I am a devotee of Krishna, then I should also be forgiving. As Krishna Prabhupada says, as Krishna is tolerating us, right, or forgiving us. So many mistakes we have made. So we should also forgive. And every saint
has a past. Every sinner has a future.
So everybody can like change and like that. So, but of course, sometimes if people are bothering us and things like that, and our peace is getting affected, then we may choose to. But in our heart, there is no grudge.
Yeah, I mean, we should not respond back. That will generate our own respond back in the sense if he hurts me, I hurt him back. So that continues my karma cycle.
Unless they are doing some physically something, then you may have
Yeah,
to.
even then, you have to safeguard yourself, maintain a distance. If somebody slaps you, I should not slap him back because that
Call the
generates further
police.
karma.
Yeah.
You can have other people take action or you maintain a distance from that person so he's no longer able to.
Or sometimes you can raise your hood, as uh, who said,
Narad Muni, the quote.
so obviously, so people don't take you for granted. It's do whatever they like. Do. Sometimes people think you're weak, so they continue exploiting her. So show them, yeah. So many ways like that. And so forgive, forgive. So because all these events in our eternal journey is not much relevance, really speaking. And of course, somebody killed somebody, that's a bigger thing. But somebody said something like that, and words and things like that, all these things. So also, the great souls, the more humble you are, the less possibility you will be hurt by anybody. Because you think I don't deserve such respect or anything. Yes, I am fallen. Another piece of chain. I am lower than this. I am lower than the blade of grass. So that's why great souls they don't get offended. But Krishna takes offense. That's a different thing. But the great souls they feel so humble. They have less false ego or no false ego. And they don't feel offended. When you are a very proud person, and somebody says even a little thing, it hurts like Indra. They just stop the yajna. You are so offended because there was pride in his heart. So you can also become peaceful when you are humble. Then it doesn't matter if somebody respects me, doesn't respect me. I don't get disturbed by it. And also amanina manadina. And you can also offer them respect. It's very difficult, but this is the worst. They are not giving me respect. I give them all the respect. Amanina manadina. Kirtaniya sada. Because they are spirit souls. They are part and parcel of Krishna. So that's how, like Durvasa Muni, he one little thing he got so angry. He created a demon to kill Amrish Maharaj because he took some water. His ego was so high. He had such a high estimation of himself that I am such a great person. How can this king do this to me? Don't they know who I am? That's how it is. Because Amrish Maharaj, even after he created the demon, he went everywhere. And still he was saying, oh, you are a great soul. There is a verse like that. Why are you bowing down to me? It does not befit you. You are a great soul. Okay, so the next verse. So everywhere there is Vinamrata. Vinamrata. To speak on the qualities of Vaishnava. So I was hearing one class. Moglila Prabhu was talking. So let me play a little clip from them afterwards. It's in Hindi. He was saying something like that the hole to enter the kingdom of God is very small. It's 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. I mean, he may have made it up, but the hole is very small to enter the kingdom of God. And we are also spirit soul. So we are also 1/10,000th part tip of the hair. So how can we enter the hole? Because we are the same size. So he says we need some lubrication. And that if you have lubrication, then you can go inside. And that lubrication is the humility. So the humble and meek will inherit the kingdom of God. So like that another scripture was quoting that. So with that humility, we also say there is a very narrow lane. Right? Only one person can pass. The lane is so narrow, only one person can pass. So if that false ego is there, Krishna is not there. So when we do in this state, right, then we can actually cry for the mercy of the Lord, and we can say, Krishna, I'm very insignificant, I'm very fallen. Krishna, please help me. I'm your part and parcel. And you can get some taste in chanting. That's why it is said in this state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. You get some taste, and then you like to chant more because you're getting taste. So this is the formula to get taste. Prabhupada also said that and his friend, he was working in the pharmacy before he joined. He came to the West. Somebody like to tell the story. One day his friend, Howard Biharilal Kapoor, he came. And Prabhupada was in the pharmacy. And what happened? And
They make tonic. Okay, love. Prabhupada would make tonic, right? So he asked Prabhupada.
Yeah, Prabhupada gave him a tonic or something and said, this is a tonic.
Yeah.
And then he asked, so Prabhupada gave a tonic. He said, this is a very good tonic. The tonic means some good formula, which will keep you healthy and immune from disease and everything like that. So he made something and gave it to him. And then his friend said, so do you have the tonic that will give me love of God? And Prabhupada says, yes, I have the formula, and one day I will preach it all over the world. That formula, that tonic, which will give me love of God, and that formula I will preach all over the world. And then he said, which one?
Pranadapi sanchena tarorapi Krishna manina mantina Krishna.
So it says, and the Raudhir Lal Kapoor, that one day, at that time he thought, Prabhupada is a pharmacist, he's going to preach it all over the world. I mean, he's in Allahabad, he was in the pharmacy, he was doing his business. How is he going to his family, man, married? How is he going to go? But then later on he said, I realized that he actually knew. So, anyways, that's the tonic that one has to be very humble, tolerant, expecting no respect from others, and giving all respect to others. These are the four things. Humble, tolerant like a tree, humble like a blade of grass. Easy to say, but you should remember at least giving all respect to others and expecting no respect in return. Such a person can achieve love of God. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. It's past 8. Anybody has any comments? Anything they'd like to share?
Yeah. I was looking at my notes. So today is the start of the Kaitya Vrat, Margashish month. Kartik month ended yesterday. So I had some notes from some lecture that I read. And from Anand Vrindavan Champu, there are nice realizations from this pastime of Krishna stealing the garments of the gopis. So I'll say a few things that I have in my notes. I'll paste this verse. First we can read this verse.
Okay. You pasted the verse. Okay, let's see. Okay.
Yeah. So this verse says that although the gopis had been thoroughly cheated, deprived of their modesty, ridiculed, and made to act just like toy dolls, and although their clothing had been stolen, they did not feel at all inimical towards Sri Krishna. Rather, they were simply joyful to have this opportunity to associate with their beloved. Prabhupada writes comments, this is from Krishna book, right? Because he passed away before he translated this chapter. This attitude of the gopis is described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he prays, "My dear Lord Krishna, you may embrace me or trample me under your feet, or you may make me broken-hearted by never being present before me. Whatever you like, you can do because you have complete freedom to act. But in spite of all of your dealings, you are my Lord eternally and have no other worshipable object." This is the attitude of the gopis towards Krishna. So, devotee, I think he's from Russia. You know his name, but I didn't write it here. He's nice devotee. He's saying that this chapter tells us that about the tests that we would have to go through. Krishna, Bhakti Vigyan. Yeah, yes. Yeah, he gave this GBC SPT seminar like 4 or 5 years ago on this. It was so nice. I just put so many comments of his talk. So he's saying that Krishna will test us, test our determination, test whether we have a real desire to go back to him. So we have to be prepared to stand absolutely naked in front of Krishna. Symbolically, it means that without any material designations, without any tinge of pride and false ego. So Krishna stealing the clothes of the gopis means Krishna wants us to give up all types of material designations, as we have been discussing Chitraketu Maharaj past time. We are nobody's husband, wife, son, daughter actually, and so many anarthas are covering us. Our false ego is there, our pride is there. All of this has to be given up for Krishna to accept us. So these little girls in this month of Kaityani Devi, they're 4 or 5 years old, and they're doing so much austerity to have Krishna as their husband. They're eating only havishyan, which is rice and moong dal mixed without any spices or turmeric. So this is what they're eating every day of this month, once a day. And they took a vow of not accepting any luxuries. Means like not applying any oil on their body, or just being very austere and going to bathe in the Yamuna, in the cold waters of Yamuna early morning. So very severe austerity to prove that they're determined to achieve their goal. I mean, we give the example of Dhruva Maharaj, same determination, right? He's not eating much, only dry leaves and then fruits and roots and dry leaves, and ultimately he gives up even breathing air because he has that determination to get Krishna. Same as Rukmani's determination. I don't want to marry anybody else. I just want to marry Krishna. And I'm ready to give up my life. And in other lives, if I'm not qualified to marry Krishna, I will do all austerities. I will do fasting. I mean, we see that, I mean, fasting, it's in the scriptures, and so many devotees are doing fasting. Like Dhruva Maharaj was doing fasting, and Rukmani is talking about fasting, and here this little girls doing Kaitani brothers doing fasting. Uh, Fasting means that I don't want to enjoy through my tongue. I don't want to enjoy through my senses. I want to give up all enjoyment to achieve my goal. That's what it means. So to achieve our goal, we have to pay the price. So, like we say that uh, if you go to a diamond shop, you have to pay the price of the diamond. But if you're not like a diamond and you want to have a cheap glass, you can go to a cheap glass shop and you don't have to pay much price for that. To achieve Krishna and pure love for Krishna, to become a pure devotee, you have to pay a price for that. So you have to be prepared to do some austerity and pass through the test that Krishna puts in your life to show him how serious you are. So these young girls, they were madly in love with Krishna. They were very young and they were praying in their hearts to have Krishna as their husband. Um, Even to the point of praying to different devatas. So this pastime also, they're approaching Kaityani Devi. Uh, they're desperate. So even if you worship demigods, you pray to them to develop your love for Krishna. Yena kena prakarena. They were so desperate. It does not matter who it is. Everybody, they're begging. And the parents were observing the agony of their daughters, and they were saying to them, please don't be so austere. Why are you torturing your body so much? Why are you eating so less? But these girls, they were only smiling, and they did not want to disclose to their parents what they wanted. So these girls won't be able to sleep at night. They spend their whole nights thinking about Krishna. One morning, that is the first day of Margashish, that is today, they all went from their homes early in the morning. It was dark, and they all happened to come to the same place. So they did not know that other girls were also doing this austerity. They happened to come at the same place, which is the bank of Yamuna, without any prior arrangement. So Jiva Goswami is commenting on this, and he's saying that if people are one pointed and they have the same desire in their heart, then the destiny itself will bring them together. Destiny will help them to find each other, because it is very important for people who have a very high goal to have like-minded association to support each other. So all gopis were surprised that they have all come to the same place, and they're seeing each other crying and desperate and lean and thin and austere. So they become compassionate to each other and asking each other, why are you here? What brought you here? So the gopi who was asked could feel the sincere compassion in the heart of the gopi who was asking, and therefore they started revealing their hearts to each other. And with great surprise, they found out that they all have come there for the same reason, and they all became completely united. So Jiva Goswami says, before this pastime, the gopis had some rough dealings with each other. But when they came together and revealed their hearts to each other, when they completely opened their hearts, they became totally joyful, and all their ill feelings, whatever they were, was completely forgotten. So they felt united in purpose, in mind, and in heart. So what happened next? They were together, and they had a very strong desire, and they were performing Sankirtan. So while going to Yamuna every day, they would hold each other's hands, and they will sing and chant the names of Krishna. So this is congregational. The congregational prayer is very powerful. It is one, so Maharaj is saying, it is one thing that if you pray alone in your room, lonely, you are praying, it has some power, definitely, depending on your sincerity. But if like minded people come together and they pray, their minds are completely tuned in, they feel the same feeling and they pray together, that prayer is more powerful. And so, this divine arrangement will be made. So, coming together with devotees, this divine arrangement was made. So, these girls, as they were chanting and singing, they saw a young girl whom they had never seen before, and this girl was wearing a red dress. And they approached her. This young girl, she said, I am Vrinda. So, Vrinda is the Vrinda Devi, the Tulsi Mara. And Vrinda Devi in the spiritual world is so Yogamaya, who arranges conjugal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So Vrinda Devi said, I will teach you one secret mantra. Knowing this mantra and knowing the procedure, that is mantra, yantra, and tantra. Three things are there. This will fulfill your desire. So, first day of Margashish month, Vrinda Devi revealed to them the secret mantra in the ears of the gopis. Although it is a secret mantra, but Shukdev Goswami is revealing this to everybody in Srimad Bhagavatam. He put it there. Kaityani Mahamayi Mahayogini Adhishwari Nanda Gopasatam Devi Patim Me Kurute Namaha. So this mantra, this Vrinda Devi gave to these gopis to pray to Kaityani Devi to have Krishna as their husband. And she said that you make a special murti of Kaityani Devi from sand, and you do a special puja, you offer flowers and clothes and like that. So they would go to Chir Ghat, one place in Yamuna, every day, and they would walk a great distance because they wanted to make sure that they were completely alone in that place, so the outside people would not come there, there would not be any hindrance, and so that they're completely absorbed in the spiritual practice. And this absorption is very important, because if our minds are distracted and if we are doing too many things, too many obligations, too many relationships to maintain with those who are not Krishna conscious, then that is an obstacle on our path. So he's just giving an analogy that we should not have too many obligations or too many relationships, because there are other people who are not in the same consciousness as you, may disturb your sadhana, may disturb your meditation. So like that he's saying, they would come before Brahma Muhurat, early in the morning. Anyways, they couldn't sleep and it was not a big deal for them. And they would knock at each other's door and they would call each other, and singing beautiful songs, holding each other's hands, they will go to this place, Shir Ghat, and they will sing songs. And Jiva Goswami in Gopal Champuya, he's presenting the songs that the gopis are singing. So one gopi would say, yeah. So the first day they met. All the girls came together and they were like, "Why are you here?" And they revealed each other's hearts. So that Maharaj is saying that that was arrangement, because if you practice Krishna consciousness by yourself, you will not get the result. But doing it together, congregational. uh, So destiny brought them together, and after that they became non-envious because they understood, oh, everybody is in the same. They have the same desire. No, yeah, there were. I mean, there were some differences. So this is all coming from Jiva Goswami's commentary. The gopis had some rough dealings with each other before, but 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, see, all this is not directly mentioned Bhagavatam, but is mentioned in these Ananda Vrindavan Champu, Gopal Champu. So then these gopis are holding each other's hands and they're going every day to Yamuna to bathe, and they're singing some songs while going. And what is the song? Jiva Goswami says, one gopi would say, "Oh my dear Sakhi, the day will come, for sure it will come, when Nanda Maharaj would announce Krishna and you are going to be married." And then friends of Krishna will be joking at him, and Krishna would be very embarrassed, because it is a very embarrassing thing to get married. Krishna is embarrassed. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda will be completely joyful and they would prepare different gifts for you. And there would be a lot of commotion in your house. That's a desire in their heart. But they are saying, okay, so the gopi, that is the desire in her heart, but she's telling another gopi, this is what will happen for you. Right? See there how they are non-envious. Whatever desire in their hearts of Krishna becomes my husband. She's telling the other gopi, see the day will come, gopi, where Krishna will come to your house as a husband and he will accept you. There will be a lot of commotion in your house. So they are not envious. So they would say an astrologer will come and will choose a very auspicious day. This month of Margashis is the time when many marriages take place. So 4 months of Chaturmasa, the gods are sleeping, right? So when Chaturmasya ends is when marriages happen usually in our Vedic script, so Margashisham. And on this day, Krishna will be dressed in beautiful clothes and will be seated on a bullock cart. And joyful procession will bring him to your house. And when he comes to your house, um, totally embarrassed, your relatives will come hurling curses on him. So these relatives, your relatives will come and will be hurling curses on him and they would say, go away, go away. Why have you come here? You want to steal our daughter? We will not give our daughter. And you, Sakhi, you will be sitting there and your heart will be beating and your body will be smeared with kumkum and haldi paste. And in great detail, they are meditating on this scene of this joyful event when Krishna will come and accept them as wives. Ultimately, you will be so excited, your heart will be beating so much that you will faint. And with great difficulty, you will be revived by your relatives and you will be taken by hand and you will be brought outside in front of Krishna. You will be completely stiff because you will be so nervous and you won't be able to look at him. And Krishna won't be able to look at you because he's so madly in love with you. So like that, this is a song they're singing every day and to telling the other gopi, and this is all mentioned. We can read that part. This Maharaj is saying that. So this is how they're meditating. Same thing, when yeah, Jiva Goswami Gopal Champu. So when Vidura was going to Vrindavan, he was meditating like that, right? How when he will arrive there, Krishna will see him. Krishna
Akrura.
will. Oh, sorry. Yeah, not Vidura, Akrura. Yeah, Krishna will embrace him. He will ask him, "How are you doing?" So many things he was meditating on. This is the meditation of devotees. See, this is a good meditation. When Krishna comes, at the time of death, Krishna will come. Devotees can meditate. How Krishna will accept me. He will come on the last day. So now, every day they were doing this vrata austerity. On the last day, all the Kumarikas came to Chirghat. They invited other senior gopis. So right now, these Kumarikas, they are sadhana siddha gopis. These are not nitya siddha gopis. And Radharani is not amongst these gopis. Lalita and Vishaka, they did not do this austerity. So these Kumarikas, they invited other senior gopis on the last day. The Nitya Siddha gopis, Radharani, Lalita, Vishakha, Tunga, Vidya, Sudevi, and all these gopi friends. They invited. It was all the more joyful to have strong devotees with them. So Maharaj is saying, so this is a great teaching. Acharyas explain that if a sadhaka wants to fulfill his desires, he can do everything properly. He can follow his sadhana, he can do his vrata, do austerities, but still it may not fulfill his desires until he has saintly association of pure devotees, sadhu sangha. Those that have much stronger and mature love for Krishna. So like that, he's saying that. Okay, so then now, and on the last day, what happens is Krishna comes along with his other friends. So Krishna is come, but his other friends, the Sudam, Dam, Vasudev, Kinkani, they are very young, 3 years old. They were toddlers. They couldn't understand what was going on much. So, and Jiva Goswami explains actually these four friends of Krishna are manifestation of mind, ego, chitta, and buddhi. Four functions of our internal perception. So, anyways, some inner meaning of these four friends of Krishna. Um, Okay, so Krishna took off his anklets, he tied his clothes, he tied his turban, and very stealthily he came and gathered all the clothes. So these gopis had their clothes on the bank of Yamuna, and they would go inside Yamuna to bathe. So Krishna took all their clothes and he ran to the Kadamba tree. And Krishna, he's an expert thief. He's trained as a thief. He has been practicing this art of stealing since a young age as a butter thief and like that. So he climbed up the Kadamba tree and he watched the gopis laughing and splashing each other with water. So Krishna, he started laughing. Gopis immediately recognized Krishna's deep voice like thunder and they couldn't see him. Immediately they immersed themselves. They couldn't see him though, but they recognized his voice. So they immediately immersed themselves in water. Only their head was sticking out. So Jiva Goswami says, it was as if the forest of lotus bloomed in Yamuna all of a sudden. Yamuna was decorated with beautiful lotuses like faces of gopis. So gopis are like lotuses. And their faces bloomed when they heard Krishna's voice. And the Yamuna felt like blossoming with all these beautiful lotuses. And they were completely shy. They had mixed feelings actually, which made them even more beautiful. Uh, there was complete joy because Krishna is here. Their desires are fulfilled, and they're completely feeling. And there's a feeling of shyness and embarrassment as they are naked, and they were filled with fear also. What will happen if someone else gets to know about this? So all these kinds of emotions were coming and making their faces even more beautiful. And Krishna is looking at them. Ah, so Krishna's eyes are like bumblebees who were humming around these lotuses, trying to steal nectar from these lotuses. So Krishna reveals himself to these gopis, and Krishna is sitting there in a very relaxed posture on the Kadamba tree. And then there is some jokes that is exchanged between Krishna and the gopis, which Bhagavatam also says. Krishna says, "Do you know what happened?" He started explaining to the gopis. He said, "I was herding my cows nearby, and all of a sudden I saw this Kadamba tree beautifully decorated with different saris. Probably some Devata stole your clothes and put it on this tree. And I just happened to be here and I climbed over to this tree to see what's going on. And I have nothing to do with this stealing. Please believe me. I always tell the truth. I never tell lies. Please believe me. I want to help you. I'm very compassionate." And it is very cold. This water of Yamuna is very cold, and gopis, of course, they were so long in this cold water and they're shivering. And Krishna is telling them, "Oh, please come out and I will give you your clothes." So gopis started arguing with Krishna, "If you are so compassionate, why don't you leave the clothes on the bank and we'll take it ourselves?" Krishna said, "No, no, I can't do that because you girls, you are very greedy. And there are so many of you. I know somebody will grab somebody else's clothes and they will run away. So I am very fair. I am the son of the king. Believe me, I'll give each one of you your particular clothes. So just come out one after another." So Gopi is saying, "If you don't give us our clothes, then Krishna says, you send some insignificant Gopi and see what I will do with her. If I give her the clothes, you can also come. Anyway, if you don't want to come, I will also stay here. I will have a vow to be in this tree for 1 month. No problem. You are a water animal and I will become an air animal for 1 month. No problem. I will just make a hammock, a jhula from your sari, and I will be here for 1 month. I know you fasted for the whole month. Maybe you can also teach me how to fast. We will be good company with each other. No problem." So Krishna completely defeated the gopis, and gopis were trying to convince Krishna. And Krishna. So at one point, gopis tried to threaten him. "Oh, Krishna, we will drag your friends and put them. You brought these friends. We will drag these friends and put them underwater." So friends came down from the tree near the water, and gopis were thinking we will take them as captives. The boys, they made sounds with their tongues out. And they ran to Krishna's tree and they thought they are safe now because Krishna will save them. So Krishna was saying, "Come on, girls, you have no way out of this situation." The Gopi said something that was a Gopi said something that was a mistake. Sham Sundar, we are your maid servants. We are ready to do whatever you like. Please give us our clothes because you are dharma, dharmaja. You know dharma. So they wanted to play another card. So telling them, what you are doing is adharmic. We all know that you are very dharmic. So give us your clothes. Yeah, give us our clothes. So, but Krishna couldn't care less about this dharma guilt they tried to put on him. So instead, he said, "Oh, you are ready to do whatever I say, so please come out. You say you are my maid servant, so this is my order to you. If you don't do this, you will be liars." So now, Krishna knew the desires in the hearts of the gopis, right? So gopis want Krishna as their husband, and he came for that purpose only. He's fulfilling their desires. Inside, gopis are feeling so blissful. Outside, externally, they are feeling very shy. Um, right. So what this means, Krishna is asking the gopis to come out. We have to become completely naked in front of Krishna. We cannot hide anything. So if we are really a servant of Krishna, then we have to do what Krishna does, and sometimes he puts us in a situation which is not very palatable. Um, he Maharaj is saying on initiation, everybody gets a name, so and so Das. The main thing is the name. The main thing of the name is Das, your servant of Krishna. So we may have anarthas, we may have faults and frailties, but this is how we should take the difficulties with a smile, and Krishna will test us. You said you are my Das and Dasi. Let's see how, if I put you in this situation, how do you behave? I mean, these notes are not well prepared, but I'm just reading. So again, I mean, coming to the point of Ashlishya Vapadratam Panushtumam. This is what this pastime. Gopis were humiliated, they were cheated, they were ridiculed, and they were made like toy dolls. Right? We sometimes become rebellious against Krishna. Sometimes we say that he's doing this to me. Is he really merciful? Sometimes we become angry at God. But to the extent we are proud, we are impure. Sadhana teaches us to become humble. One way to become humble is to go through difficulties. People who never had difficulties, they are very proud. People who are humble are usually the people who have very difficult life, like Kunti Maharani says, this difficulty is a treasure of my heart because this difficulty makes me humble and humility brings me closer to you. So please give me difficulty. Like that's what Kunti Maharani is saying. So gopis, they came they came out one by one. They got their clothes, and Krishna accepted them as their wives and promised them that a year later Krishna will dance with them, or will reciprocate with them. And that is when the Sharad Purnima Ras Leela happened, that Krishna accepted them as their wives. So, we as devotees who are aspiring to come closer to Krishna, there is a lot of conditions that have to be fulfilled before it really happens. With lukewarm desires, we'll never be able to achieve Krishna. Everything that happens to us in our life's journey is to intensify our desires. So Krishna will place difficulties in our life to make us stronger. And Krishna also sees how that's one uh, aspect, one test of our devotion is what we do in the time of suffering, right? What we do when we are alone, when nobody's watching you. What is your consciousness? And what is your consciousness when you're put in difficulty? Krishna is watching that, and he will reciprocate. He will give you your results based on that test. So if we are not willing to pay the price to attain Krishna, we will not achieve the desired goal. And so we need the association of other devotees, other pure devotees, strong devotees that will keep us strong. That gopis were together, doing this vrata. Together we do it, we are stronger. Yeah. Okay, I think that uh, we'll be able to purify our desires. We'll become completely naked. There will be no other desires separating us from Krishna. Anyways, I just read some comments from what I had written. So this is a very instructive pastime. Anything you would like to add, Prabhu?
Yeah, well explained.
Did Radharani's clothes were also stolen because she joined on the last day?
Correct. Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
She also went inside the water and her clothes were also stolen on the last day.
Right. Yes. She was amongst the gopis, right? Was the last day she came. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So anything other than anybody else have any comments? We meditate on this Leela of Krishna. So we have to be naked before Krishna. Means we cannot have any duplicity. Uh, that's what I was thinking. Like we say about the flute, right? How the flute get the association of Krishna? Because flute is hollow and everybody can see. So inside and outside, like so, we can't have duplicitous life. Something outside and something else inside. Then we will not be able to achieve Krishna. The other thing you said about how we cannot be lukewarm. We cannot be lukewarm if we want to attain Krishna. What does it think that be hot? Be hot or cold?
be hot or cold, but don't be lukewarm. Or I will spit out. Pick you up.
Yeah, so we have to be very concentrated, and I'm telling this to myself that concentrated and make Krishna the goal of life like that. And another thing was saying that those who have gone through difficulties, they become humble. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know that part. I think sometimes if you go through difficulties, it may take you away from Krishna also. And but
Only if you have Sukriti that you will make. But people who, I mean, it's not like in this life you may have problems, but in your previous life you may have come to the point of surrender going through problems. There is no way out. We have come to this material world for enjoyment. Unless somebody has difficult situation in life, that's why we say Chaturvida Jana Sukritin or Artha Jana. Most of the people come to Krishna consciousness out of difficulty. Even if people are not coming out of difficulty, in the previous life they build that mentality. So in this life, very easily they come to bhakti.
and there is mostly people come out of distress and then someone in knowledge they come. But yeah,
And those are with knowledge. How did they have knowledge? Because in the previous life they did bhakti. Because previous life they went through a rough situation where they surrendered. They got knowledge. In this life, knowledge continues.
the intelligent people they come by hearing, right? They say the
Yeah, but
others
actually everybody needs to have experience. See, but not necessarily in this life they need to have experience. They may have had experience in the previous life or multiple lifetimes. So that
we don't know what happened. They may have just met a devotee and devotee gave them blessings. But of course,
like
see,
you only said every saint has a past. Because at one point they were not saint. If they were not saint, they were doing sinful
we are in
activities.
the material world, so we are not saints, right? That's the first thing.
Not saints means devotees.
Ah,
Every devotee has a past.
yeah,
At one point they were not devotees. If they were not devotees, they were committing sinful activities. Means they had to go through some karma.
yeah.
Every
Everybody,
saint, every devotee has a past.
yeah. See, we came in this material world. Everybody was come in this material world.
Yeah, because
This
we
side
have
is
done a
our
bad.
envy of Krishna only. That's the problem.
Yeah. So some crime has been done. That's why we are prisoners here.
Some are more criminal, some are less criminal. But
Yeah.
more or less everybody is a criminal. Somebody has done more sins and somebody has done less sins. Yeah, so unless you go through difficulties, you cannot become humble. That's what I was meditating upon. Saying that,
Yeah, but the thing is that we have gone. It's not like I want a difficulty in my life to become humble. We already have gone through so much difficulty.
but see,
Now we
we
should.
see so many people going through so many difficulties.
Yeah.
but they don't.
Other people.
But they don't take up God consciousness or they don't turn to God. They just try to resolve that
Ultimately,
situation through
yes. Yes.
material ways, right?
Yeah. Because they're not frustrated enough. But
Hare
life,
Krishna Prabhu.
yes.
So I have a question. So difficulties means there are different type of difficulties, right? If it's a mental difficulty, like psychological, then we are kind of staying away from Krishna sometime. But physical difficulty, we are thinking about Krishna, but we are not able to chant or hear about Krishna because we have a physical problem. So if when we have a physical problem and we are thinking about Krishna, we are only thinking about Krishna, but we cannot do anything. Do you think we can get benefit for that also?
If you have physical problem and you're not thinking about
Like,
Krishna,
yeah, I mean, physical problem, like I have a sore throat and I have it's going on for a long time and I'm not able to chant. I don't feel well. I'm thinking all the time. I'm feeling guilty that I'm not able to chant now. I don't feel like hearing katha also. But I'm thinking I'm feeling guilty. So you think that we can get benefit for thinking about it that I'm, you know,
you're thinking about Krishna, right? How to.
yeah, that how
So
why I'm
somehow
not
or other,
able.
if you think about Krishna, okay, I could not do this service. I wish I could do this service. That's good. And if your desire is very strong, then yeah, because sometimes we are not able to do because we are so bad in our situation. We are having fever. But see, ultimately, all the difficulties are perceived by the mind also. Right? It's also our mind is interpreting a like Prabhupada wasn't difficult, but he was very advanced, right? So he was in difficulty, but he was chanting as somebody was saying, his lips were always moving and chanting Hare Krishna. He was dictating purports to Bhagavatam. But yeah, all these things affect us because we are not at that kind of completely so. So
But
mental.
some difficulties, people have a bad experience, like they don't, even after going into Krishna consciousness, they are getting difficulty and they are just pulling out of that whole Krishna consciousness. So that is different type of difficulty, right?
You come with some expectation that if I take up Krishna consciousness, then everything should go nice, right? You have some expectation. When it doesn't go that way, then you lose faith.
A lot of times, they do devotional service, but there's also the same thing they have been doing, sense gratification going on the side, and they both go ill together. That may be the case too.
Yeah. So every jiva is different. But ultimately, yes, all the difficulties are meant to bring us to heal. Material world is so designed to give us difficulties, so we can come to Krishna.
Yeah. And sometimes we say that when we come to Krishna consciousness, the problems may not go away, but we will get a strength to overcome the problems, tolerate the problems with the Krishna consciousness, chanting and hearing and association of devotees. So we should not come with the expectation because karma, although we say that one name of Krishna destroys, but then comes to the point of surrender, right? Whatever Krishna wants to do. So that's why in good situations we should do bhakti very nicely. So whether when difficult situation comes, our faith is not shaken. But for newcomers who get these problems, yeah, it is hard. And we have seen that some people, they leave Krishna consciousness, but since if they have done little bit of bhakti, they will again come back later. They will come back because bhakti is never lost. Whatever they have done is never lost. So eventually they will come back.
Yeah, so I was thinking, yeah, difficulties are made to feel us that we are helpless. Maybe all these difficulties, death is a difficulty, old age is a difficulty. So we are helpless. A humble person feels helpless. That yes, I cannot do. So in that way, Maharaj is saying that difficulties are there to make us humble. So that, and even as devotees, we realize, yeah, Maya is very strong. You know, it's not so easy to deviation Gurumai. Maya won't let go until I surrender. So And they say like Maya is so, just as water seeps through any crack, even if there's a little crack, the water will seep through. So Maya is trying to find some crack in your consciousness, and it will go through that. So everybody has their weak points until you are pure devotee. Everybody has, so Krishna will test us. That's also you were saying that Krishna will test us thoroughly. That's something like that. We have to go through so many tests before we are accepted.
Yes, correct. Krishna will test you.
So many tempting situations will come in life, and so many things. And then, even in those tempting situations, are you still willing to take shelter and still be able to stay on the path of Krishna consciousness? That is the real test. So that Maya will give all the temptations to see how strong you are, how much you want Krishna, or you are just saying like that. Maya, sometimes we say like that. We say, but do we really mean it? Because if we really mean it, then when the test comes, then we will say no to Maya and yes to Krishna. So like that. And yeah, so if every time we fall or fail, it's like an impetus for us to do better next time. Like you fail in an exam, then you say, no, now I'll study very nicely. Next time I appear for exam, I will not fail. So these are all failures are the stepping stones to success, also we say. So it is to make us more determined. All these Krishna arranges situations in our life to make us more determined, so that we can become determined like Rukmini or the gopis, so that we can make this goal of life. So all troubles are because of that. Make us more determined. And to take more shelter by realizing that we are humble. To make us humble, so that we take more shelter of Krishna. Take more shelter of Krishna, then we become more determined. So, yeah. Okay. It's fair enough. Anything? Sometimes we may think, well, they are only 3 years old, right? How come they have got this desire to get married to Krishna? Because generally, if you consider like Prabhupada gives this argument, right? Krishna is only 7 years old when he's doing Raslila. So how can a 7-year-old have any lusty desires? So then, extending that analogy, somebody may say, well, they're only 3-year-old. So how can a 3-year-old have a desire to get married? 3 or 4 years old. How do we understand that? Somebody asks that question. Because Prabhupada does give that, I think in the Raslila, in the book, he gives it. A 7-year-old, yes, Krishna is only 7-year-old. So a 7-year-old generally doesn't have any lusty desires like that. So the dealings of Krishna with the gopis, one of the reasons it is not a material thing is because 7-year-old. But then somebody will say, well, 3-year-olds, how can the 3-year-olds have desire? So if there is any explanation, we can share. Just so that if you encounter any question like that in preaching, then we can answer. But maybe the gopis are like they are not ordinary gopis, so they are pure hearted. So in their heart they have the desire to be with Krishna. So we cannot compare like ordinary human beings with 3-year-olds in this world, with 3-year-olds in the spiritual world, or with Krishna. Because these are sadhana siddha gopis. Right? These are sadhana siddha gopis or gopis they are. They have come to the platform of this by why there's hint of that sadhana. Right? They are associating with Krishna. So they are not ordinary people, or they must have done so much sadhana in so many lifetimes that they have come to the point of having this desire to have Krishna as their husband. So, because although their body may be 3 years old. Okay. Okay, then we'll stop here for today. Thank you very much. It's already 8:50. We'll continue tomorrow. And I think tomorrow Radhika is going, right? For 1 month? No, for 3 weeks to Vrindavan. So we can ask her to pray for all of us in the Dham.
Yes. Please pray for me.
You also pray for me. So my Dham Yatra
Hare
is
Krishna, thank you.
We are not very
Thank you.
fortunate.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And Shakti Radhika Mata is
Krishna,
already in the
thank
Dham.
you.
She's already living in the Dham. So we can ask her also to pray for us. Because she's already living in the Dham. So
She needs to pray every day for us.
we can do prayer every day. Prayers in Dham are very powerful. So, okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yep,
Hare
Mata,
Krishna.
safe travels. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.